It got a little too close for comfort at the end, but the Chicago White Sox snapped their four-game losing streak and beat the Baltimore Orioles 4-3 on the South Side. But did they finally hit a home run? The Baltimore series was not pretty for the White Sox, but Dylan Cease gave Sox fans a lot to cheer about on Sunday. Will Lenyn Sosa stick around for a while, and can Giolito figure things out against the Angels?
You are Locked On White Sox, your daily Chicago White Sox podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, Sox fans, welcome to Locked On White Sox. Thank you for making Locked On White Sox your first listen each and every day. We're free and available on all platforms. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Locked On Sox. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just search Locked On White Sox. Today's episode is brought to you by Bet Online. Bet Online has you covered this season with more props, odds, lines than ever before. Bet Online, where the game starts. Hey, I'm your host, Nick Morawski, a lifelong diehard Chicago White Sox fan, recording this podcast just blocks from the ballpark in beautiful Bridgeport. You can find me on Twitter at Nick_GGTB. Really appreciate you letting me steal some of your time to talk White Sox. Locked On White Sox is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Did you get your Eloy Jimenez, Luis Robert dual bobblehead? That was almost the highlight of the weekend. Maybe you were there for Lenyn Sosa's first hit, but hopefully you didn't let Friday night's game ruin your weekend. State of the White Sox. Sox are 34-37, 5.5 games back in the AL Central. White Sox won, of course, on Sunday afternoon, but lost 3 of 4 to the Baltimore Orioles after 71 games last year. Let's just go back 1 year to 2021. After 71 games last year, our Chicago White Sox were 43-28 and 3.5 games up in the AL Central. They were in the midst of getting swept by the Astros. Maybe you remember that series. We felt like the sky was falling last year in Houston. We just can't beat good teams. We thought that was bad. 43-28 after 71 games. Sox, of course, 34-37 right now after 71 games, chasing not only the Guardians, but also the Twins. That popular silver lining that a lot of people are going to talk to you about, and I happen to believe a little bit into this. The White Sox still have 50-plus games left against the AL Central, a series we'll talk about next week, starting on July 4th, where the Twins come into town. So let's take you folks back to Friday. I don't want to, but I have to. Tony LaRussa tells us that Yoan Moncada could be ready to return by Tuesday in Anaheim when he's first eligible to come off the IL, and that was a recurring theme all the way up through the weekend. So what does that mean for guys like Lenyn Sosa? Lenyn Sosa did get in the game, of course, on Thursday when the series against Baltimore kicked off. Harrison got hit by a pitch, and Sosa took his place. So would that mean Sosa would start on Friday? No, Lenyn Sosa was not in the starting lineup. Instead, Garcia played second base. There was some reasoning from Tony LaRussa. He tried to explain it. I couldn't really make sense of it, so I'm just going to put it out there for you. LaRussa alluded to Sosa being up here temporarily, but with a chance to play more if he plays great immediately. A little confusing. He'd have to play right away to play great. LaRussa went further and said, right now he's here temporarily, right? To fill in. He could go nuts and force himself into the lineup. I don't know how many opportunity he's going to get. The thing to watch closely is today with Leury. Those are his at-bats. If he can repeat that, referring to Garcia going 1 for 3 with a walk on Thursday, he'll be productive. Josh, when he plays, he sparks us. I don't want to discourage Sosa, but he may get 3 hits on Saturday and not play Sunday. So we'll see. I hope he does, though. I personally could not make sense of this quote. It made no sense to me. It's like he's speaking about something that's completely out of his control in terms of lineup construction. Now, a lot of fans feel like the keys might have been taken away from LaRussa as of late, that someone else maybe is making the lineup. In that quote right there, all of this stuff about Sosa, it kind of feels like somebody's sliding a lineup underneath the managerial door and telling LaRussa this is what should happen. LaRussa, if you are in charge, you are the one that can try to set Sosa up for success. If you want to see him be great immediately, start playing him. He did have some opportunities over the weekend. Of course, got his first hit on Sunday. We'll talk more about that. But just kind of head scratching on Fridays. The Sox lost to the Orioles 4-1. Garcia, who of course started and played in that game, went 0 for 3. Sox final line on Friday: 1 run, 1 hit, 2 walks, and they were 0 for 1 with runners in scoring position. It was an anemic, lifeless game on Friday for the Sox offense. Kopeck was your starter. He didn't pitch too bad. I mean, again, he had those games against New York, and we've seen the greatness almost in Kopeck. And it's weird to say greatness because this is his first season in the starting rotation, but we saw how he could pitch in relief last season. And Kopeck has really dazzled this year in 2022. On Friday, he was serviceable. 6 innings, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 4 walks, just 2 strikeouts. Kopeck's got his ERA at 2.69. Velasquez and Foster came in to try to clean some things up. Again, not a horrible outing from Kopeck, but when Sox offense gives you 1 run on 1 hit, I mean, what are you supposed to do? Unfortunately, that has been a theme with our starting pitching. They have to be absolutely perfect. And when you make any mistakes, sometimes this offense just goes into an absolute funk. And that was the case on Friday. Let's talk a little bit about Saturday. Again, that almost was the highlight of the weekend, getting your Luis Robert Eloy Jimenez dual bobblehead. I was able to snag mine. Very nice. Again, the first dual bobblehead that I'm aware of as a stadium giveaway. Of course, they had that Tim Raines bobblehead, but that was for a White Sox charity. That wasn't a giveaway. A great bobblehead, and the game delayed with rain, and it kind of was the foreshadowing of what was going to happen. This was Tony LaRussa talking pregame on Saturday. We literally have 5 of the 9 guys that are playing under trainer instructions. That is that they make a routine out. They should slow it down. Tim Anderson, Abreu, Vaughn, Robert, and Pollock are all under specific trainer instructions to not push it on the bases to avoid aggravating, lingering leg issues. This is where we're at with our White Sox here. Not only do we have guys that are actually on the IL, but we also have several now guys that cannot go full steam. They cannot push themselves. They are under trainer specifications. Going into Saturday's game, the White Sox had only 1 player with 60-plus games played this season, and that is Jose Abreu. Unfortunately, one of the 5 guys under trainer instructions. Baltimore, on the other hand, had 7 players that have played in 60-plus games. Your lineup on Saturday did feature Lenyn Sosa. He was leading off. You had Vaughn and Robert and Abreu and Pollock, Sheets, Berger, Garcia, and McGuire all in that game. Again, several guys that are told not to go 100%. A lot of fans, having some problems with, how the Sox not only played on Friday, but played on Saturday. They lost another game. We're going to get to that in a second. And, social media has become such a difficult spot. A lot of fans fighting with one another. And Steve Stone, our color commentator on NBC Sports Chicago, he is on Twitter, and he's really, sometimes just pouring gasoline onto the fire. These are a couple tweets that I found fairly interesting to point out. We seem to have hit a nexus. I call it thinning out the herd. For those of you heading for the exits, adios. For those of you who want the coaches fired, the manager gone, the players traded, and the owner replaced, that's not practical. Welcome to a less bitter world, all others. Another little tweet from Stone. When I hear that guys are soft, it shows me a lack of knowledge from keyboard commandos. You don't get here being soft. We're depleted. Guys hurt and playing hurt. We can't afford getting picked off, not backing up, outfielders out of position. Little things become losses. And, I get where he's coming from with some of that, but, you fan how you want to fan. And if you want to vent about this team, you have the right to do that. And Stone kind of sitting up on his high horse, telling fans, you shouldn't talk about this and be quiet about that. It's not a very good look. And, his point about little things becoming losses. Well, if we've got guys playing that, can't take an extra base or can't maybe score on a pass ball, that will become losses. It's really difficult. And fans are scratching their head of like, why are there lingering issues? What is going on with our team health-wise? It is just maddening. We're going to talk more about this Saturday game. Kendall Graveman and Joe Kelly are high leverage guys, but where have they been? Tony LaRussa tries to explain his thinking. And how did the Sox finish off their weekend against Baltimore? More on that in a moment. Hey, I've been taking AG1, Athletic Greens' flagship product, for a few months now and have noticed improvement in my overall metabolism, better sleep, and I just feel better. So what is this stuff? With one delicious scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food-sourced superfoods, and probiotics to help you start your day right. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging. All the things. It sure feels like our Chicago White Sox should be taking some of this. Athletic Greens has over 7,000 five-star reviews, is recommended by professional athletes, and trusted by leading health experts. It's cheaper than getting all the different supplements yourself. You're investing in an all-in-one nutritional insurance. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just one scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/MLB network. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/MLB network to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. At BlueNile.com, you can celebrate all of life's special moments, from creating the custom engagement ring of her dreams to gifting a classic and timeless jewelry piece, all at prices you won't find at a traditional jeweler. Whether you're ready to pop the question or you're celebrating a milestone moment, find jewelry as unique as her with the modern convenience of online shopping at BlueNile.com. Blue Nile has simple online tools that let you choose the diamond shape, size, and clarity, as well as setting style. Blue Nile's bench jewelers will then handcraft her perfect engagement ring. Each ring is one of a kind. Make your moment sparkle with jewelry from BlueNile.com. And Locked On Sports listeners get $50 off purchases of $500 or more. This podcast exclusive includes engagement. Use code Locked On. That's code Locked On. Plus, every order is insured, ships free, and arrives in discreet packaging that won't give away what's inside. Shop stress-free and find your forever piece. Go to BlueNile.com today. So the pitching situation on Saturday really featured Lynn It was his third start of the season, and Lynn looked a little bit better. He went deep into the game in terms of pitch count, really. But inning-wise, 6 2/3 of an inning, 6 hits given up, 5 earned runs, a walk, 8 strikeouts, and 1 home run. His ERA is 6.19 through 3 starts of this 2022 season. Lynn threw 109 pitches, and he just could not get out of the 7th. He hit a guy with the bases loaded. And, I know it was his game to lose, and he said so much in the post game that he definitely, thought there was a plan in place. He could get out of this inning, but he seemed to be fading a bit. And, it was decided that he was going to stay in and until he wasn't. And then Ruiz came in. But why Ruiz? Where's Kendall Graveman? Where's Joe Kelly? What are we waiting for? Tony LaRussa said Lynn won't pitch again until Friday due to an off day, and that extra rest factored into letting Lynn pitch longer. LaRussa said he was considering Joe Kelly for the 8th, though he usually reserves Kelly and Graveman to protect leads. He went with Ruiz, of course, in the 7th, and it didn't go so well. I get that, okay, but look, we don't have the luxury of having these leads. This is rare right now. We're fighting right now, game by game, and you almost have to put your hopes and dreams aside. And yes, I was hoping we would also have the lead, but that's not the case. Let's limit the damage, and hopefully, our offense can get something going late in the game. It was a bizarre situation, confusing for me as a fan. But Sox offense had very little going on anyways. Thursday, of course, 0 runs. Friday, 1 run. Saturday, Sox lose 6-2, only 2 runs, 6 hits, a couple of walks, 7 strikeouts, and with runners in scoring position, 0 for 7. This took their streak at 0 home runs in 5 straight games, which that is maddening in itself. The weather's been pretty nice. Wasn't so much on Saturday, but for most of the Baltimore series, and even towards the end of the Blue Jays series, weather was really nice. And usually that's a case for, hey, ball starts flying out of the ballpark, ball go far, team go far. We've heard that mantra quite a bit over the last few years. And, lots of apathy started setting in after Saturday's game. A lot of fan confusion, a lot of loathing, a lot of pain. And again, there's that silver lining of hope of, well, we still have 50-plus games left against the Central. There was just some real lifeless efforts against Baltimore those first 3 games. No energy, and maybe it had something to do with 5 of the 9 guys that just couldn't go all out. It looked that way a little bit too. It looked lethargic. There's something you can't put your finger on. You hear that about exciting teams that are starting to spark and get on a roll. A fan might say to another, there's just something about us that I can't put my finger on, but we're on a roll right now. There's none of that with the White Sox, especially the first 3 games against Baltimore. After Saturday's loss, the White Sox were 15-21 at home this year. White Sox were one of the best teams at home in 2021, a reason why we really wanted that home field advantage in the ALDS because of that great record at home. So just another confusing stat there. Sunday was a different story. I'm going to talk a little bit about Sunday in a moment. Also going to get to out west. Sox have not been the best out there in recent years. Giolito tries to get the Sox off on the right foot, but what Giolito will show up? Get to that in a moment. BetOnline.net is your #1 source for all your betting needs and sports info. Find all the latest sports developments, league reviews, and news, including NHL playoffs and Major League Baseball. BetOnline is your continued source for all your sporting wagering information, including live betting, esports, and scores. And betonline.net remains the best spot for all your sports scores, podcasts, and news this season. BetOnline.net is the fastest and easiest way to check in on all your favorite sports and events, including MMA, boxing, and golf. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends in action. BetOnline, where the game starts. So Sunday, completely different story. Finally, in this series finale, the White Sox were able to get a win. It did not come easy. That end of the game, man, it made your heart jump. The nerves crept back in. I've seen this before. Here we go again. Feelings definitely emerged. But things were good early on. Second inning, Gavin Sheets with a 2-run home run. So breaking that 5-game home run drought. And it was a bomb out to right field. Third inning, Lenyn Sosa got his first major league hit. It was a double. Exciting stuff for him. Tim Anderson and Vaughn would sacrifice flies to score Sosa. I couldn't control the emotions in that moment, said Sosa. I just feel happy and proud. I came here to help this team win games. Tony LaRussa might think otherwise. Fourth inning, Seby Zavala with a 2-out, 2-strike RBI single. I love that 2-out offense, and he had that full count, ripped a single. Sox were up 4-1 at that point. Dylan Cease was absolutely dominant. 7 innings, 4 hits, an earned run, a walk, 13 strikeouts, gave up a home run. 67 of his 101 pitches were for strikes, with 21 swinging strikes. So he had that breaking ball working, that 12-6. It was biting. It was nasty. Cease has an ERA now of 2.56 through 81 innings pitched this season. Dylan Cease is the stopper. Thank you, Dylan Cease. We needed that. You want to go out on the road with a better taste in your mouth than what was happening on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I say the end of the game was nerve-wracking because in the 9th inning, Jose Abreu had 2 big errors. Baltimore chipped away with Graveman on the hill. And those errors were simply Tim Anderson made a brilliant play at short, threw across the diamond to first, and it hit Abreu right in the palm of the glove and bounced out. And then there was a dribbler to first. Abreu picked it up with his hand, and as he was running to first to tag the base, it popped out of his hand. Bases were loaded for Baltimore, and it really felt like, here we go again. The Orioles chipped away with Graveman on the hill, got it to 4-3, but Graveman got the final out in the form of a strikeout. Losing streak snapped at 4 games. Home run drought snapped at 5 games. Cease on the 9th inning said, "We found a way," and that's the biggest thing. Jose picks us up a lot more than he lets us down, and he's out there grinding, and we got it done. I thought that was a nice quote from Dylan Cease. It's true. Jose Abreu hasn't been the sharpest this season with the glove. I feel like he's regressed quite a bit at first base, but hey, he does not take days off. He's hurting, and I don't know if it's a detriment to the team or not at this point. I think it's more of Jose Abreu trying to set an example of, hey, I'm out there hurt. I'm not taking days off. If you guys have some leg issues, if you're not 100%, hey, follow my lead. We'll get through this together. And good on Cease for having that comment of, what, we've got his back. He's got more positives than negatives. And I like Cease saying that, especially after the game he had. Excited for Dylan Cease. And, hopefully it's something to build on. Moncada should be back on Tuesday. Monday, of course, the Sox start a 3-game series against Anaheim. Anaheim Angels are 34-40. Sox going out to the West Coast has not been the greatest over the years, and Giolito lately has not been the greatest. His last 3 outings were against the Blue Jays, the Astros, and the Rangers. He went 5 innings in each of those outings, and in order gave up 7 earned runs, 8 earned runs, 4 earned runs. They have not been good. He knows it. Giolito has a record of 2-1 with an ERA of 3.93 and 45 strikeouts and 6 appearances against the Angels in his career. Giolito last faced the Angels on April 29th this season here on the south side of Chicago. He went 6 innings, gave up 3 earned runs on 7 hits, 2 home runs. They were early in the game, if you remember this game, 1 walk and 7 strikeouts. Not a bad line. Sox offense just didn't have anything going on. This was a quote from Giolito after Wednesday's loss, his most recent outing against Toronto. "I know that when I'm right, I'm a good pitcher, a good starting pitcher who can go deep, strike guys out. So I know that. It's just a matter of making it happen, making the adjustments that are necessary. It's been frustrating. I want to give the team a chance to win when I take the ball. I have not been doing that. And so that's pretty much it. I've got to figure it out." And I know I speak for all Chicago White Sox fans as I hope you do figure it out, Giolito. Start the trip off on the right way. Folks, thank you so much for making this podcast part of your daily routine. You can find the Locked On White Sox podcast absolutely everywhere you find your podcasts. We are on Twitter and Instagram at Locked On Sox. You can find me on Twitter at Nick_GGTB. Thanks for making Locked On White Sox your first listen every day. Now make your second listen Locked On MLB Prospects. Host Lindsey Crosby is a prospect encyclopedia, and he's going deep on the MLB stars of tomorrow. It's free and available wherever you get your podcasts. Coming up on the next episode, I'll recap Giolito's outing against the Angels, hopefully breaking down a stellar Gio outing and a White Sox winner. Appreciate you making time for the Locked On White Sox podcast. I'm Nick Morawski. Until next time, go Sox.